Chewing gum is a common habit around the world, but in certain places, it is not just frowned upon, it is outright illegal. This narrative explores how specific countries have taken the unusual step of banning this sticky sweet that many people enjoy over the globe. Singapore is perhaps the most well-known example of a country with strict regulations regarding gum. The ban on chewing gum was enacted in 1992 as part of the country's effort to maintain a clean and orderly environment. In 1992, the Singapore government, led by Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, explicitly banned the sale and import of chewing gum under the so-called Chewing Gum Prohibition Act. The law was intended to reduce public pollution and encourage residents to adopt cleaner lifestyles. Singapore's streets and public transport facilities had long struggled to deal with the waste generated by chewing gum, which was often dumped in undesignated areas and caused a hassle to clean up. The issue reached a point where some public facilities, such as benches and handrails, were constantly exposed to pollution. The decision came after the Singapore Mass Rapid Transit (MRT) system experienced frequent technical problems due to gum being stuck on train doors and sidewalks littered with chewed gum. Problems began to arise due to the misuse of chewing gum by some individuals, which disrupted trains and damaged public facilities. Sticking gum to the sensors of train doors, causing them to fail to close properly. When the doors did not close, the train would automatically stop as a safety measure, causing delays and disrupting the schedule. Gum littering had become a significant public nuisance, disrupting escalators and damaging pavements. Cleaning gum from public areas, including seats and floors, was costing the government huge amounts of money in maintenance and cleaning. The law wasn't just about prohibiting the sale of gum, but also aimed at instilling a culture of discipline and cleanliness among its citizens. The law stems from years of problems caused by careless consumption of chewing gum. Enforcing the ban did involve strict penalties, including hefty fines and even caning for repeat offenders in extreme scenarios. Tourists would often be reminded not to bring chewing gum into the country to avoid facing these penalties. Strict penalties, a fine of up to 1,000 Singapore dollars for anyone caught spitting or sticking gum in public. Repeat offenders may face higher fines or forced community service. Smuggling large quantities of chewing gum into the country can result in hefty fines up to 100,000 Singapore dollars or up to 2 years in prison in some cases. In 2005 in Singapore, a death row inmate asked to be allowed to chew gum as his last wish before his execution. However, the authorities denied this request due to the strict ban on chewing gum in the country. The chewing gum ban played an interesting role in shaping Singapore's identity and policies, signifying a unique approach to urban management and public order. Part of a broader effort to keep Singapore one of the cleanest cities in the world, the law was controversial, especially from human rights groups who saw it as an intrusion on individual freedoms. The law met with mixed reactions both locally and internationally. Locals, especially businesses involved in the sale of chewing gum, saw it as an intrusion into personal habits and a loss of revenue. Meanwhile, some domestic citizens appreciated the tidier environment. Internationally, the ban drew both amusement and bewilderment, earning Singapore a spot on the list of countries with unusual laws. Still, it accomplished its primary objective of keeping the environment spotless. By 2004, the law was amended to allow the sale of chewing gum for medicinal purposes and upon prescription, such as sugar-free gums for medical purposes and nicotine gum for smoking cessation, available only in pharmacies or dental clinics, requiring the buyer's name and identification. This came after negotiating a free trade agreement with the United States. However, the government was clear that the primary goal was to maintain a clean environment that would enhance the quality of life for residents and visitors. Despite the criticisms and the curiosity it stirred, the law stands as one of the many measures that contribute to Singapore's reputation as a city of impeccable cleanliness and order. This established a balance between maintaining public hygiene and respecting the rights of individuals. This unusual law is a vivid example of how legislation can be used as a means to directly influence community behavior, directing individuals toward constructive behavior that contributes to improving public life. Similarly, in Bhutan, the quiet Himalayan kingdom nestled between India and China, chewing gum is classified alongside other tobacco products that are illegal to sell or produce within the country. Bhutan's government has a strong commitment to promoting health and preserving its traditional culture, and this extends to strict tobacco control measures, including the ban on chewing gum to prevent litter and maintain public spaces. In North Korea, there is no official ban, but due to strict restrictions on foreign products and consumption habits, chewing gum may be uncommon or limited. While not entirely prohibited, Saudi Arabia also frowns upon public gum chewing, particularly in strict Muslim contexts, as it is seen as distracting and disrespectful, especially during prayer times or religious events. In Iran, it has not banned chewing gum completely, but has imposed restrictions on some types of gum at certain times. These examples illustrate how chewing gum, an everyday item for many, can become a symbol of broader cultural and public policy goals. Prohibiting the sale and consumption of gum may seem drastic to some, but for these countries, it is intertwined with efforts to enhance public cleanliness, reinforce moral norms, or promote health. It also reflects the broader and perhaps surprising ways that governments around the world choose to intervene in the daily lives of their citizens, highlighting cultural nuances and varying approaches to governance.